Hello everyone, my name is Łukasz and I would like to present you DataGenerator from Netverest tools, which allows to create millions of records in minutes. It is extremely useful if you need to test performance of your application, and it is free. There are tens of different generators, so you can easily customize your data. Additionally, at the end of the demo, I would like to show you a few database analyzers and statistics, like missing foreign key analyzer. Let's start. For first use case, let's assume that I'm a tester and I've just got new user control from development team. This control is performing search and I would like to test performance of it, because I'm not sure on how many records developers were testing it. So we need to open DataGenerator application and provide connection string to our database. Or, if we have already used it, then we can open it from recent connections. As you saw, loading database information is very fast. Right now we are on Generate tab, which shows you all tables and views from database, and allow to configure your generators. There's a lot of different useful features which you should check out, but for this demo I will focus only on a few of them. At this point you can start data generation if you know which tables should be used. However, as a tester, it is not my responsibility to know how backend works and how data is being stored. To overcome this limitation, I will start profiling. Next, we need to switch again to our app, open this new control and perform few searches with different criteria. Let's come back to data generator and stop profiling. You will see new note in 3, profiling results, which shows you all database queries which were recorded during our profiling session. Moreover, those queries have been analyzed, so you can see which tables were used during our session and much more. This is exactly what we needed. There are 3 tables, but we can guess that the roles table is used only to populate combo box, and our system probably won't use more than 100 of them. For us, the most important table is projects. So we open it and we can see a lot of useful information. Moreover, required columns have been already selected for us. If we only want to generate data, we don't need to change anything, because every column has default generator. We only need to enter number of records which we want to generate. Let's say 100,000 records and select this table. In missing table section, we can see that this table has references to other tables, so we also need to generate some data for them. At this moment, we are ready to start generation. We don't need to configure anything else, but for the demo purposes, I will select few other tables without any configuration. Before moving forward, I would like to present you a few available generators. Let's filter our tables only to those which are selected. It will be much easier to work with them. We can select users table to see preview of data which will be generated for this table. As we can see, name is random, and it will be very difficult to use it in application. So we select this column and change few generators. First of all, we would like random values in this generator to test if all letters will be displayed correctly. Moreover, it will also generate strings with random length. This way, it will be easy to validate if our control is correctly displaying long text. Let's add another generator for fixed value and fill it with anything. This way, we will test if our app is correctly handling records with the same name. But we don't need many of those records, let's say only 1%. Last generator which I would like to add is dictionary, which allows to generate predefined set of values. We can create those dictionaries manually or from other sources like txt file, csv file, Excel, enum from other DLL or database. Last step is to choose one of those dictionaries, let's say superheroes, and we are ready to go. I would like to show also a few other generators, because every column type like date, time, integer, etc. has different set of generators. There are also a few other things which are worth mentioning. First is save configuration, which allows to save your current configuration and reuse it later. Next one is delete script, which can be executed before generation to start work with empty tables. There is also support for views, which shows you tables and columns used by this view, so it is easier to generate data for view. Last thing are other options which can be found in settings view or global node, like disabling all triggers. Let's start generating data. This process has 2 parts. First is generating script file. You can see estimated script size in the right upper corner. Second part is executing it. As you can see, data has been generated. So let's open Execute tab and load it. All of this can be done in one step. However, I wanted to show you that those scripts can be loaded later more than once directly in Execute tab, without another data generation. Last step is to click Execute. While we are generating data, I would like to give you a few hints. First, it is good to have admin privileges for database, especially if you are profiling. Another thing is that when you are profiling, it is good to have local DB or make sure that no one else is using this database in the same time, or his queries will be also recorded and it might be confusing. Last hint is to record as short profiling sessions as possible. In a few moments, we will finish our process of data generation of almost 500,000 records, which has been configured in a few clicks. We also need to remember that I have shown and explained many features, so if you are familiar with those tools and you are using default generators, you can generate test data for this table in less than 2 minutes. As the last step, let's come back to our application and perform search again. As you can see, it returns all rows, which is not correct behavior. There should be a pagination with only a couple of records per page. So we have found a bug and we can report it. Performance testing has never been easier. Second part of this demo will shortly present you some database statistics and analyzers. Let's start with index usage, which shows statistics of indexes, when it was last used, how often it is used, etc. It is very helpful to maintain indexes. Next report is showing table usage data, which basically groups index usage statistics per table. Third report shows information about tables like number of rows, columns, foreign keys, triggers, indexes, etc. This is great when you need to become more familiar with new database, because it shows you to which table you should pay more attention. Next two reports are showing hints about missing indexes from SQL Server and missing indexes on foreign key columns. But please remember that all of these are only hints, and every scenario should be evaluated separately. As the last one, I would like to show you Missing Foreign Key Analyzer, which is the most complex of those analyzers. This one works in two steps. First one, Get Suspects, has been already performed for us with default data. To become more familiar with this analyzer, please use tooltips, which are provided for every field and column. This analyzer is using few different search patterns for finding missing foreign keys. For example, it is using already existing foreign keys. It also searched for matches by convention with specified pre or post fixes like ID user, user ID, and so on. Let's see what else we have here. First grid shows all tables with primary keys and references to this table from dependent tables. You can select which of them should be analyzed. Or maybe you know that foreign key column with specific name will be always mapped to this table, then it is good to provide this information, so process will be much faster. Second table shows all suspected columns with number of occurrences, which are not foreign keys, but their names are suggesting that it might be a foreign key. Next options are related to tables with users, because most of the systems have similar table, so we can point to this table to make processing faster. There is also one more option which allows to analyze data inconsistency for proposed foreign keys. However, it can take a lot of time, because it depends on number of tables and number of records in those tables. But half an hour might not be enough if you have millions of records. It also might perform hundreds of database queries to check if data in suspected foreign key column is matching data in primary key column on the other end of relation. You can also specify on how many threads it should work. However, you might need to increase pooling size of SQL Server, which by default is 100. This feature is for advanced users who know what they are doing, and it's better for everyone to run Missing Foreign Key Analyzer for the first time without data analysis. So for demo purposes, we will run without this option, as suggested. Right now we can see results of analysis. Let's start with grid on right, which is showing suspected columns for which analyzer didn't find any matches. But main grid is showing us list of propositions with various information. You should check tooltips of different columns to gain better understanding what they are showing. For example, columns like nulls, unique, values are filled only if you are using data analysis, which takes a lot of time. So in our case, we will see always 0. Last column is showing estimated time of data analysis. So if you see that there is something time consuming, then maybe you can exclude this table from analysis or provide hint to significantly reduce processing time. In lower table, you will see different matching propositions with information why this table was matched. There is also correlation column, which again is filled only when using data analysis, and is showing ratio of values from foreign key column, which are also available in primary key column. If this value is lower than 100, it means that data is inconsistent, and we need to fix it before creating foreign key. To check which records are invalid, you can use different script and execute it in Management Studio. Or if everything is okay, you can use script below to create this foreign key, also with index. As you can see in our example, there is a lot of propositions for creation user and modification user columns, but we are aware of them and we don't want to fix it for some reason. So to reduce number of records, I'm going to add them to excluded columns and start analysis process again. As you can see, number of suspects has been reduced. Then I need to perform second step of analysis, which will show us only few results. Right now it is much easier to analyze those propositions, and we can see that we are missing foreign key for models table. So we can click on this proposition and reuse generated script to create foreign key. As I presented, it is often enough to use analyzer without time-consuming data analysis, but it will be different for every database. However, you should always perform first analysis without this option, because as you saw, it is very easy after first iteration to help analyzer by excluding some columns or tables from process. In this demo, it may be a good idea to exclude deletion user column and perform another iteration of this process. Last tip for this analyzer: because it is using existing foreign keys to analyze missing foreign keys, it might be beneficial to reprocess everything again after adding few foreign keys, because those keys will be included in analyze and you will get different and more accurate results. That's all in this demo. However, it was only a small part of all available features and use cases. You can find more information on our page netverest.com. I hope those tools will be helpful and will make you more productive. And remember, those tools are free. But it would be really nice if you could support us by buying premium version, which costs only €9. It will allow us to create new features and we have a lot of ideas. Thank you for watching.